Joining WKU Student Publications was the best decision I could have ever made. Nothing's grown me more on the Hill, and to me it's the only place where you can get real world experience. You don't have to be afraid to fail. You have people to lean on being here, and you have a support system like no other.
This has been the highlight of my college career. Other things have been a highlight, but I think this has definitely been the highlight.
In my freshman year, I didn't have a community and I kind of felt that disconnect that you do. But coming here every week, working with writers and working with editors, that gave me a good foundation of people.
Anytime that someone asks me what's the Talisman, I always say we are the eclectic, evolving record of life on the Hill. I think it really does encapsulate everything.
Something we say a lot in the office is Talisman is our second home. We always know that like if someone needs help that we're there for each other, but it's also fun.
What our students do and what they learn at the Talisman and the Herald prepares them to go on into the future and be contributing members of society. No matter what they end up doing in their career, it helps them understand how to ask tough questions of people in power, people in a variety of different positions, so that they can be consumers of the news, of what's going on around us, of democracy, and take that into whatever type of work that they end up doing so that they can fight the good fight and look for the truth and figure out how to help people through the different transferable skills that they learn here.
I think how challengingly fun it is. It's meant the most to me in terms of being able to give back and being able to serve in such a unique way in telling those stories and holding the university accountable in making sure that people know what's going on, but also showing how great of a place WKU is through those stories and through that event coverage.
The role that both the Herald and the Talisman play is absolutely crucial. Nobody else is taking a deep dive look at how WKU operates and asking questions that are sometimes uncomfortable, but that are essential. What you can get out of that as a student really boils down to four things. First, how to find information out. Second, how to put it into context. Third, how to explain it clearly. And fourth, and probably the most important thing, is how to think critically. Our alumni, they've been passionate about this program, and I think it's because the value that they got from being part of student publications when they were students.
Sports editor Kyle Tucker brought me on to go do a story about special teams. Went over and interviewed Jack Harbaugh. He treated me like I was an old veteran. It was great for confidence. Could still remember everything about those moments because they treated me like I was a pro.
The time I spent on the Talisman taught me more than the entire rest of my collegiate career.
Working at the Herald helped you learn how to deal and work with people of all different types. And in my job now, just learn how to listen and relate to people, be in uncomfortable spaces.
Well, it was sort of terrifying, you know. People have very high expectations. You're writing for a real newspaper, you're writing about real people. You have to honor their stories as well. But people here believed in me before I believed in what I could do.
It was just a healthy laboratory for what journalism should be and what a newsroom should be. It should be discussions, it should be debates, and sometimes it should be a shouting match. But we were all friends at the end of the day.
That was the first time I was really in a leadership position as the photo editor, and it was hard. Like, there's always big personalities in the newsroom. I'm assuming that's the same way, I don't know, but it used to be definitely in the 90s.
We overwrote at times. We all thought we were Walt Whitman. We thought every story was going to be perfect poetry, and it wasn't. We tried way too hard, and it's funny to go back and read it today to see how hard we tried for a Tuesday soccer game to make it sound like it was the championship of the World Cup.
Well, I think that the best reporting about what's going on campuses happens at the student publications. They're digging out stories that otherwise would go unreported.
The two times in particular that I have seen Herald staff just be at the apex of reporting was once when the staff back in 1988 had to take on then WKU President Kern Alexander just to keep journalism intact. at WKU, and that was a tough time to go back and see what they faced, how they had to handle themselves and still get the information out while being accosted on every angle is just phenomenal. But this staff is having to do the same thing. Price and the crew are just amazing. They have had to face all kinds of adversity, personal attacks by administrative staff at WKU. It's just incredible, but they persevere and get the word out and get the details out and get the truth out. And I'm just so proud of them that I can hardly stand it. They are just phenomenal.
It's the most important thing that ever happened to me, I guess, because I got to meet so many students, make so many friends, and I don't know what I would have ever done without it.
It's the hardest thing I've ever done. Managing people, managing the interpersonal side of it, running a newsroom, and realizing that the people on my staff are the most talented journalists I've ever met.
Oh my gosh. To learn through difficult times like this, they're certainly learning their own abilities and the ability to be resilient, which is going to be critical throughout their life. I don't care what they do. These skills translate into everything. And the ability to just be resilient and to keep going back and doing what you need to do and be persistent is what it's all about.
Just messing this up entirely. I know what I want to say, but it won't come out in the right words.